Every 4 years, fans on opposite sides of the Atlantic collide over a single word. Americans insisted soccer. The British demand it's football. The great irony of this debate is that the word soccer was actually invented in England. In the 1880s, Oxford students used it as a slang abbreviation for association football to distinguish it from the other variations of the game being played at the time. The terminology split covers almost every part of the game. What Americans call cleats, the British call boots. An American plays a game on a field, while a Brit plays a match on a pitch. The terminology is the surface layer of a deeper structural divide. To see why the names diverged, we have to look at the actual architecture of the leagues, two different blueprints for how a sport is organized, funded, and played. In the mid-19th century, both sports emerged from the same chaotic ancestry. At the time, schools across the UK played a disorganized mix of kicking and running games that would eventually splinter into soccer and rugby. The first major divergence happened in London in 1863. A group of clubs formed the Football Association to standardize the rules, specifically choosing to outlaw carrying the ball with the hands. Meanwhile, across the ocean, American colleges took a different route. When schools like Rutgers and Princeton began organizing their own intercollegiate games, they embraced a hybrid style that allowed physical tackling and carrying the ball. Then, a Yale player named Walter Camp introduced 3 specific mechanics that severed the American sport from its British cousins. He invented the snap from center, limited teams to 11 players, and introduced the concept of downs, requiring the offense to gain a specific amount of yardage to keep possession. These initial rule changes established the logic for 2 different professional systems. One evolved into a closed-market franchise model, while the other built the open, competitive hierarchy of the pyramid. The American structure operates as a closed franchise system. The professional league consists of 32 teams with exclusive geographic territories, completely distinct from the amateur collegiate system that supplies its players. It is built to maximize scale and protect the financial investments of its owners. This is the English football pyramid. Over 5,000 clubs are stacked in a single hierarchy. The Premier League sits at the peak, above the English Football League and National League. Through promotion and relegation, top teams move up, while the worst are demoted. An American franchise is guaranteed its spot in the top league, regardless of performance, fostering financial stability and competitive parity. In the English system, every local town has a path to the top tier, but top clubs face the constant threat of dropping into the lower leagues and losing their revenue. Because the English pyramid crams thousands of active clubs into a small geographic area, historic rivals are often located just a few miles from each other. You can see this proximity in the physical placement of the stadiums. While American venues are often built on the edges of cities with massive, dedicated infrastructure, historic English stadiums like Stamford Bridge are typically jammed into the middle of dense residential neighborhoods. The sprawling acreage around American stadiums allows for the tradition of tailgating, thousands of fans grilling and gathering in the parking lot for hours before kickoff. Without acres of parking, the British pregame ritual centers on local neighborhood pubs. Once inside the stadium, laws implemented to curb past hooliganism mean fans cannot consume alcohol anywhere within sight of the pitch. The in-seat experience is also a product of these environments. American games lean on jumbotrons, pumping synchronized music, and cheerleaders to orchestrate the crowd. The British atmosphere relies on continuous, organic chanting, driven largely by league rules that mandate ticket allocations specifically for traveling away fans to ensure a vocal rivalry. The architecture of the league determines where the stadium is built. The placement of the stadium determines how fans gather, and those gathering patterns dictate the behavior of the fans once the whistle blows. The American model is a massive, closed franchise spectacle, optimized for entertainment scale and national broadcasting, ensuring that every championship is a curated media event. The British model is a hyper-local, community-based system, bound together by the promotion and relegation cycle, where every season carries the dread of failure or the joy of reaching the next level. The next time fans argue over the words soccer or football, remember they aren't arguing over a dictionary definition. They are clashing over 2 completely different blueprints for what a sport should be.